ABC News, FAA says it will cut thousands of flights a day starting Friday due to shutdown. They have also talked about closing airspace. That's the craziest story. That was yesterday. They are contemplating closing airspace. Now, right now, they have confirmed they will be reducing capacity by 10% at 40 major airports. The FAA will reduce flight capacity by 10% at 40 major airports. The decision could cut thousands of flights per day. The restrictions will go into effect Friday morning. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the airports that will be impacted will be announced on Thursday, officials said. Our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible. Reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. This is not based on light airline travel locations. This is about where the pressure is and how to really deviate the pressure. This comes after Duffy said earlier this week that the FAA will be forced to shut down the airspace in some areas if the shutdown continues into next week. We are already facing, like a 2,000 personnel shortage for air traffic controllers.
Yeah, it was already bad.
It's already bad. Planes have already been crashing.
Yep.
Remember that plane that landed in Canada and then rolled?
Yeah, and if you remember, Caroline Leavitt was talking the other day. She was answering questions in the press briefing room about the shutdown, and she said that she had heard a congressional staffer who worked for a Democrat lawmaker say that they wouldn't reopen the government until planes started falling out of the sky.
Insane.
Which, here we go. That's absolutely insane. I got to say, I think this refusal on the majority leader Thune's part to refuse to terminate the filibuster because he's afraid of what Democrats are going to do when they get back into office. If they get back into office, the next time they get back into office, this is something President Trump addressed at the breakfast this morning with GOP senators. He was like, they're going to get back into office. They're going to bust the filibuster. They're going to pack the court.
Yep.
They're going to implement everything. And Trump's idea was terminate the filibuster right now, open the government tonight, and pass our entire agenda. Just do that. Just do that, you guys.
Yeah. The idea, we've talked about this at length at this point, but the idea that there is some kind of limiting principle to what the Democrats are willing to do or what they're going to do, that is a pie in the sky idea.
Yeah.
And to behave as if the Republicans' behavior is in any way going to affect what the Democrats do is it's a foolish endeavor. The Republicans need to exercise power while they have it. And to be honest with you, they need to do, and I've said this multiple times, the Republicans need to do everything that they can that is legal to make sure that the Republicans have as much of an edge to win in 2026 and in 2028 as they possibly can. Everything that they can legally do, they must do. This is no time for people that have a weak stomach for exercising power. This is no time for saying, the Democrats will do this. The Republicans need to do something. I understand that.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is
it's just screaming into the wind.
They need to find the stomach to actually exercise power because Republicans refuse to do that.
They're not doing it. Republicans won't do it. So short of that, what do we do?
Well, the stupid part is that the American people said, here's some power. We're going to vote for you in every office. And now they won't take that power. I mean, what are the options? Now we have a socialist running the financial capital of the world, the greatest city in the world, the biggest city in the country. The Democrats, as you said, Phil, are totally and completely craven. So what are the options? Third parties don't work. Running Republicans doesn't seem to work. I mean, they also get rid of Thune. I mean, can we get Matt Gaetz back in here to get rid of some of these people in leadership?
People were framing what's been going on, what happened with Mamdani and all of the elections that happened yesterday, as if that was a response to the way that the Republicans have been behaving for the first, however long Trump has been in office.
Totally
it's they were never going to win anyways.
Yeah.
Those elections were a foregone conclusion. So you can't pretend, because that's almost like an attempt to try to get them to curb from actually using the power that they have. And that's, I'm on this show once a week and we have to discuss it every single time, which is that no matter what you say, they're never going to actually use the power they have because they're too scared of being called names or being perceived as if what's going to happen to them in a couple of years it's already going to happen.
It's already going to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's already going to happen. And one thing that I thought was interesting was you had Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, and Mikey Sherrill and Mamdani. They weren't running against their opponents. They were running against Trump. Yeah. Every single time. I mean, Mamdani in his victory speech last night spoke directly to Trump. Mikey Sherrill on the debate stage, when she was asked what's the first thing you'll do when you get into office, it's join the lawsuits against Trump. Do you know what I mean? Spanberger running against Trump. None of them were running against their opponents. And I think that has something to do with the fact, like, that there are no Republicans with any faces to speak of other than Trump and Vance and like a little bit of Rubio.
It's the number one thing that, like, for the length of time that I've been on the show, I said they have a big problem coming in 2028. They do. Like, I like Vance for the most part. I think mostly for mimetic qualities in a lot of ways, but he doesn't have that same bulletproof ability that Trump seems to have to be able to let it all roll off his back. Not yet. But the problem is they don't have a way to coalesce around anybody else because there's no face there that anybody's really going to get behind, at least in my opinion.
We were talking about the elections yesterday and everything that's going on, and I was thinking about when Trump is not running, we're kind of screwed because people only turn out when Trump is on the ballot.
Not even the
However,
midterms, really.
Then I thought about it. The only thing Democrats ran on the other day was anti-Trump.
Trump was on the ballot.
He was
just anti-Trump.
Exactly. So when Democrats, I think, equally will do bad without Trump. I don't know if J.D. Vance can muster the same kind of craziness that Trump can. I do think many liberals are just cultists. It's a non-theistic religion. They just their ethos is fit in at all costs. But I wonder how many people are going to be J.D. Vance ambivalent. Yeah. And if politics starts to wane without Trump being there.
So I got a question. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, I've always made the comment, and people have like pushed back on me in this. Is like, I would like to go back to a time where it didn't seem like everybody was treating politics like a team sport, and people who, like, you'd call them a tourist. You'd say you don't really have a lot of interest in this. You're just you've picked it up since Trump came into office, and perhaps you'll go by the wayside once he leaves. But I do think they'll end up keeping him on the ballot by saying, like, this is the guy that Donald Trump anointed as I remember we were talking at one point about how Trump didn't necessarily endorse Vance when he gave that first interview because he knows that it could probably be used against him down the line, right?
Against Vance.
Yeah.
I think Vance will want Trump support. I don't think Trump has that same.
But early on, I think they were saying that the idea was like if his term is a dud and it doesn't go well, that doesn't help him.
Right.
Well, I think that's kind of obvious for, like, whoever the Republican is. You know, if the Republicans have not delivered for the American people, or if the American people don't feel like the Republicans have delivered, then that's going to be a bad thing for whoever the Republican is, whether it be Vance or whatever. This is why I'm so much of the opinion that, you know, at the end of the day, it really does boil down to what the economy's like, because the people will blame whatever party is in office at the time if the economy is not doing bad. If they feel like they're not able to make their dollar go far enough, if they feel like they can't put food on the table, and they're going to blame the whatever party's in office currently. So,
what do you think I mean, you guys are probably more plugged into this. Like, what is the general consensus from the public on the economy now?
I think most people feel like it could be better. I don't think that people are feeling like there's a boom time. I'm not sure exactly what could be done to get back to the heady days of 2018 and 19. But I think that people are still hurting out there, and I think that people still feel stressed. But I think the reason why that is because of how long it takes for wages to catch up to the inflation that happened, right? Like, inflation is a leader, wages catching up to inflation is lagging. It takes a long time for people's wages to get up to match what inflation happens. That's why inflation's so bad, and it's such a, it's why it has such a negative effect, because inflation happens quickly. It can happen in a year or in 2 years. You can have prices go up by 20, 30, 40%, which is what actually happened here in the US. Things are like literally like 20 to 30% more expensive overall. The dollar lost like 20% of its buying power. And so you haven't seen wages go up 20 or 30%. So until the wages catch up, people are going to feel like that. And I don't know that that is going to be solved by the end of Trump's term. So,
well, do you guys think the government's going to reopen before Thanksgiving?
I think the only way that the government reopens is if they do the filibuster thing. I don't think the Democrats are going to cave at all. I don't think they have to cave, because the longer this goes on, as they keep telling us, the better it is for the Democrats and for their priorities.
And low IQ voters will blame Trump for this anyways.
Well, yeah.
Sure, it's easier to blame Trump because he's one guy as opposed to blaming, like, just Congress.
Yeah. I think it's better just to call them by their proper name, Brett. Democrats will just blame Trump for all of this.
No, because I would push back on that. There's a lot of people that are right now really angry with Trump for a lot of things that Trump either didn't do, didn't actually happen, or things that they assumed were going to happen that he never made a promise on. There are a lot of people that are still mad about the Epstein files. Trump has said we need to release the Epstein files, and the people that are holding any additional evidence, the people that are holding it back are the courts. That's likely because there are minors in the Epstein files that they don't want to put their names out there. And that's typical of what courts do. So it's not that Trump is saying, oh, we need to hide them. It's that the courts have said no. Trump has come right out and has said, we need to release all the files that we can.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.